The Equality Act. You probably heard about it. You probably seen it on your social media.
People sharing stories and
Yeah. Oh
links.
my gosh, it's like the best thing ever. Oh my gosh, it's like the worst thing ever. Okay, but like literally, what is
I'm
it?
over here like, oh my gosh, what is it even about?
Yeah.
So
Anyway.
this first was brought up a couple years ago, but during Trump's administration, but it was never pushed through and it was never passed through the House and the Senate because, well,
Obvious reasons
obvious
that we'll
reasons.
get into and you'll figure out on your own because we're not going to tell you
But
what to
now,
think.
yeah, but now they have a little bit more control and support from the White House,
Hmm.
Congress, and majority, like not a majority, but a good part of
It's starting
Congress.
to get some speed again, a little traction
They're like,
again.
let's bring it back up. So is it good? Is it bad? Honestly, we're gonna. Well, I'm not gonna tell you what to decide. That's up to you.
We're just going to go strictly off of facts and basically explain what you missed in the Equality Act because there's so much information being spread. Literally so much information. So without further ado, let's get right into it. Welcome to Unleashed with the Patriot Sisters. Buckle up, girl, because we're about to spill that tea just like we did in 1773.
We light the fire under all things politics. And don't worry, social justice warriors, we're light the fire underneath you too.
Why?
Because we're inclusive.
Prepare to be triggered.
So the Equality Act, here we go again. It's coming back for what? Was this round 2?
Who knows?
It passed in the House, which means the House of Representatives voted on it, and it passed, which means it has to go to the Senate, where it needs a 2/3 majority to get into law,
To become law.
to become law.
Obviously we knew it was gonna pass in the House of Representatives in Congress because who's the ringleader?
Nancy Pelosi.
Anyway, so that was an obvious given. Now we're just waiting on the Senate for them to come together
And decide to
and
actually vote.
decide, which that will be a fun show in and of itself. So let's pull back the reins a little bit and just break down the information that
Paint
you
the
missed.
picture for
Paint
us.
the picture.
Who brought this into light? Who was like, "Ooh, let's bring this issue, not really an issue, but let's make this an issue."
So, what is the Equality Act? First and foremost, this guy. Whatever. I'm just gonna say it. So,
Be unleashed about
I'm
it.
being unleashed. This is what we're all about here. So, it was introduced by a Democrat House representative. His name's David, homeboy David, and I do not mean that in like a good term, like
Okay.
homeboy, like my friend. I mean homeboy. Like, who the heck do you think you are, homeboy?
Like, step back.
Like, step back. Let's social distance for a moment here. Let's think about this. He is
Wait, can we
from
just say
yeah.
social distance? Like, that wasn't a term a
It's
year ago.
so gonna be. It's
But like,
everything.
it's gonna be a term 20 years down the road that we're gonna say to our kids, just social distance from me.
And they're gonna be like, "Mom, stop! It's not that funny." And you're like, "No, like it's hilarious.
It was a
It's a
thing.
thing." Anyway, so this guy, his name is David. He's from Rhode Island, of all places.
The little pea in the
Little
corner of the country.
Like, what the heck happens in Rhode Island?
Like, if
What's
you're
going
from
on over there?
if you're from Rhode Island,
You good?
what do you do?
Are you good?
Nobody ever talks about Rhode Island.
What do you do for fun? I know you got a beach. You're on the coast, but like it's
It's
cold
like
over
Rhode
there,
Island,
isn't it?
Rhode Island and like Maine,
Not
and
really cold, but
people talk about Connecticut, but like Rhode Island and Maine, nobody talks about.
like, are you live? Do we need to send reinforcements? Like, how are you doing with the pandemic? Are we good? Are you good? I mean, us Floridians are living life. We're happy.
Life's normal.
Listen, Ron DeSantis. Side note: Ron DeSantis was just chilling at like some. Like, I don't know what it was. That wasn't a drag race. It was just like some. It was not that. It was like some race thing or whatever. And it was just
track.
racetrack. I don't even know what it was.
Here in Florida,
He's just chilling.
We're planning our spring break next week, like going to the beach. Friends
Yeah.
flying in. We're gonna have some fun with
Yeah.
with my mom and our friend and their daughter. Like, it's gonna be great.
It's gonna be like a girls' weekend getaway. Anyway, the point is, what the heck is happening over there on the East Coast? We don't know. But this guy who introduced
David,
okay, homeboy David, and I'm going to add this little tidbit of information just because I find so much irony in it. But he is a white, middle-aged man. And I say that not because I care about or we care about his color, do we? No.
I don't care.
I don't care.
Unless
But
he makes it an issue, and then I'll pop off and be like, "I don't care."
homeboy David, let's social distance and think about this for a second. Chill. No, so we don't care about the color, but I find it so comical
Mhm.
that the DNC, right, the Democratic Party, has a white middle-aged man, the very type of person that they say is the most
Oh.
racist, homophobic, xenophobic, Islamophobic,
Every kind of phobic.
misogynist person, most hated person in America, pushing for equality.
So
Like,
it's
what?
basically going against their narrative of white middle-aged men
Are awful
are awful
people.
people,
And yet this white middle-aged man from Rhode Island, David, is
pushing for their quote unquote equality, which
quality,
really isn't equality,
which we'll get into.
but it's kind of like
What?
they're
It's
confused.
an oxymoron.
Oh, another one.
I love oxymorons. It's a
Mhm.
thing. If you didn't go see our reels on our Instagram at the Patriot Sisters about International Women's Day, I talk about oxymorons. Go watch it.
Yeah,
Okay, anyway, that's like so rabbit trail girl moment.
that's long intro.
It was a long intro. So the Quality Act in a nutshell.
What is it?
What is
So
it?
basically, it is to further protect those in the LGBTQ plus, which apparently
Community.
there's more letters now, as I was corrected on
Oh,
social media.
how dare you
But
get
I,
it wrong,
what happened to just being called
Christiana?
gay, lesbian? Like, why do we have to have, like, I never,
Because there's more options these days. It's
like,
like how you feel. It's what like your insides tell you. Like your emotions, because apparently emotions
they're
don't
gonna,
lie.
they're gonna call it LGBTQDC for dog and cat
Oh,
next, because that's gonna, I mean, joking, of course,
well,
but like seriously, anything could happen.
anything
But
can happen.
basically, it's to amend the 1964 Civil Rights Act, which we've talked about plenty of times, which
Mhm.
is a great thing that ended Jim Crow laws and it really
Mhm.
pushed for
Real
real
equality
equality across
that
this
was
country.
needed. That was needed, right?
Right. But basically, the Equality Act would amend that, which would be
Mm,
AKA edit
yeah.
that. Okay.
Change it
Change it, add to it.
or take away.
That
Just
basically
depends.
says no matter what you were born biologically, no matter what you were biologically born, the which is male or female.
Like those are the only options. Let's preface that in case we got some our
Confused?
favorite liberal fruitcakes
Just social justice
listening.
warriors.
Yeah, yeah. There's only two options: male, female.
Okay. So basically, it would amend it to say that no matter what you were biologically born as, if you identify as literally anything else, aka dog or cat, I mean, I really don't think that's included in it,
But it could be.
but it could
We
be.
don't want to assume.
That could be 40 years down the road,
We don't want to assume,
right?
or we're being like super forward thinkers right now.
Right? We're being very prophetic.
Woo.
No, not really.
I hope
I
not.
hope not.
Take it back.
You will be protected under federal law so that if anyone tries to basically say something that you don't like that goes against you
Your
being
feelings.
LGBTQ plus identity, that person will be punished by law.
Hmm.
So,
And this is like a federal law thing. It's not like some.
so what it's the 1964 Civil Rights Act basically say, or what it currently says.
Basically, highlight version, it says you need to be protected or you will be protected no matter okay. You will receive full access to public accommodations, so hotels,
Grocery
grocery
stores.
stores,
At the time, it was like pools,
pools, whatever.
clubs.
Okay, basically literally anywhere you go outside of your house. It's a
Other
public
than, like, a
accommodation.
private club,
Right.
private dance class.
You have full opportunity to experience all the services that are offered there within
Mhm.
reason. If no matter your color, no matter your religion,
Sex.
sex, and I think it's nationality for the other. Is
Yeah.
that right? Yeah, those
Did you
four
say
things.
religion?
I think so. Religion, color, sex, nationality.
Color, AKA it says race, but yeah.
Right. Race, color. So that's what it says, which is okay, really good.
Which
We need that.
which cut the '60s issue of blacks not being able to be
The
in
segregation.
segregation that was happening, which was horrible, horrific, and
Right.
totally wrong. This changed that in the country and made it you could be prosecuted
Yeah.
under federal law.
So this Equality Act that homeboy social distance David from Rhode Island has introduced says, "Hey, I have this new idea, this new bill I'd like to, expose and implement into this 1964 Civil Rights Act to change it a little bit and add to protect those part of the LGBTQ plus DNC Uh,
Community.
community.
So if you're looking at this from like an outside view, okay, if you're looking at this from a high school, college perspective of what majority of this country looks like or looks at things like, it seems like a really good idea. Okay, everybody's protected.
Right. It makes
Okay, it
sense.
makes
Like,
sense.
why would we not want to protect people? Duh.
Uh, this sounds good, but that's a big old fat negative.
Yeah.
It's
Negative.
not good.
No.
No.
No. And why is it not good? What makes it not good?
Well, basically, if this bill passes, it will basically punish faith based charities about what they've chosen to believe in. So, let's say you're only a man and a woman, or we're an adoption agency, we only adopt out to father and mother biologically born
Families.
families. It would force them to do things that goes against their core beliefs.
So, if that core belief, for example, has something to do with their faith, their religion, that actually goes against, and this is why it's a big no no,
Mhm.
okay, why the Equality Act is a big no no, is this is not an opinion, this is a fact that I'm going to say, is because it goes directly against the First Amendment, which is to protect your religious freedoms. Because the moment the government says, hey, we don't really care about your religious freedoms because it goes against someone else's opinion, and that's a big no-no. So now we're going to punish you by law, or at least try to. That's a no-no. That is what we call government uh, infringing upon your rights. That's why we left Europe so many years ago.
And we're going to talk about a lot from a religious perspective because that's the main audience it's going to target. But
Right.
it's also going to target everyday life. So
Hmm.
if you go into your local grocery store, Kroger's, Publix, I don't know, Winn Dixie, whatever you go to,
Tom Thumb,
Tom Thumb, Whole Foods, which I think Whole Foods just might already be a
Aldi,
thing. But
maybe.
basically, it will allow men to use the women's restrooms, and the store cannot come against it because it's federal law and they would be
Hmm.
infringing upon the 1964 Act.
Which,
Now,
yeah, go
if
for
you
it.
want to talk about Whole Foods, and in the very beginning of this whole thing, we went into Whole Foods, said we could not wear a mask based upon our religious beliefs, which my God says do not live in fear, and putting a mask on
Is living in
is living
fear
in fear, and
for
I wasn't
us.
going to abide by that.
Right.
And we got the cops called on her. She was doing
That's how I
this.
got banned from Whole Foods for a whole year.
And he said, I don't care if I'm discriminating against you. This is whatever.
Yeah.
So maybe Whole Foods won't really care about this. And they don't, but like, because they
I
don't
don't know
like the whole
because I was in
64 thing.
Seattle a couple years ago at Whole Foods, of all places, go figure, and a man walked in on the bathroom in the women's stall. Like not the
Yeah.
stall, but like the women's bathroom. That was a great, fun, I'm being sarcastic by the way, experience for me. So, yes, it does target religious people, but it also targets the non-religious. And you brought up a great point that we're going to get into when it comes to women
Yeah. It's a war
because
on women
oh, it is.
because it allows guys who want to be a girl, who say they are a girl in your kid's bathroom at school to be able to use your little girl's bathroom with
So,
her.
women's rights and protection, the very thing like we have
Oh,
fought for
it's National Women's
so
Day
I know
yesterday.
that we have fought for so long. Yeah, forget about it. Throw it out.
It's no big deal.
Forget about it. Why do I say that? Well, one, you made that great point earlier. Number two, for example, women's shelters. There's a reason why we have so many shelters across the US alone
Specifically for
for
women.
women. Hello? Hello? Let's think about that for a second. Why would we have something like that? Well, we do, and it's a great thing. Here's why it's not good if the Equality Act is passed. That means anybody, whether you're born biologically male or female, and then do like a couple changes in between that point of time, between current day, you are now accepted, no questions asked, into these women's shelters. The very safe space, potentially the only safe space for adult women and young girls to go to.
Because women are naturally at a disadvantage
Mhm.
because based upon the fact, and I'm not a feminist, I am not for this, but it is a fact that women and guys, men and women cannot do the same thing.
Yeah.
We are not equal in every aspect of life. Men will never be able to give birth. And I didn't think that would be such a controversial thing to say, but it
But
is
apparently it
so
is. Like, why would you I'm sorry, why would you want to?
women
That's not something you wanna do.
are not naturally able to lift as much weight. There's a reason when I have something heavy to carry, the
Mhm.
first thing I do is I even if I can carry it and I don't want to, I yell, "Dad," or "Papa," or like I'll get a
Find the
man in my
nearest
life.
guy, grab
And
him,
since I don't have a guy, a boyfriend,
and be like, "Dude, I need your help."
and they will do it because there's different we were each born with natural tendencies, and
Right.
this removes all of that
And it's re listen, I
from a
am
legal
not
perspective.
I am like the old school version of a feminist, like the
Like, let me
1920s,
vote
19 let me vote,
and
like,
own land.
and only, and like, let me be my own independent, strong woman. Heck yeah. But like this 21st century version of feminism,
Nah.
can't get behind it. But like, whatever. It's an oxymoron. There's that word again. Like, I just can't get it.
So what else
So,
does it do for women, though?
so also women's sports, and you kind of jumped the gun on it, but that's okay. I'll let it
I do that a
slide. I'll
lot.
let it slide. Women's sports. The very again another thing we as a society have fought for so stinking long that women would be have their their own sports. They can compete. They can do what they love and work hard and whatever and be equal. Throw that out too. Forget about it.
And, when
Because
yes,
why? Why do we need to forget about it if this Equality Act is passed?
because guys can compete in women's sports if they say that they identify as a girl
If
and they
you
were born in the wrong body.
if you were born biologically as a male, but then one day down the road you're like, "You know what? Let's paint these fingers. Let's add some stuff to my eyes. Let's put some, lipstick on, do my hair up a little bit, wear some heels. Oh my gosh, I'm a girl now.
You're not a girl.
Oh my gosh, I want to compete in, like, for example, women's weightlifting things. I don't know anything about that, but like when they like CrossFit or something, women's
Or
division.
anything women.
Hello, anybody with a freaking mind would be like, yeah, you know what? A guy naturally, because it's part of their DNA and that's a normal thing, can build muscle more than
Yeah,
women
it's
or more
natural.
athletic. But I'm not saying for those that think I might be saying it. And I know my head's kind of going a little crazy right now for those that are watching the video, but it gets me every time and it irks me. And I know it irks you too.
Yeah.
We're not saying women cannot be stronger than a guy. All we're saying is that women have to work harder. Did I just call women hard workers? Heck yeah, I did.
So if yesterday was International Women's Day,
Okay, which it was.
right? Which I said if it was,
But I got you.
you got
It
it
was.
was. Then we have everybody was we did a reels on this, and if you didn't see it, first of all, go see it. It was
Mhm.
cute. It was funny.
Instagram at the Patriot Sisters. Go look at the reels.
But I'll say it here and elaborate a little bit more. What you have as people posting on their stories, oh my gosh, women rights have come so far, which they have. Not me, people before me. I haven't fought anything. Life's been great for being a girl in the past 22
True.
years,
Although it's about to get pretty crappy if this
right?
passes.
Like we fought so people have not me. I don't want to say that because I haven't done squat. People have fought so hard for women's rights and they're posting on these great things yesterday
Mhm.
about this. But at the same time, those same people are turning right back around and advocating for a guy who wants to be a girl to compete in women's sports,
Where does that make sense?
which then
Please
will
point it out.
push women and then negate the whole point of having women's only sports. If women were equal as men and athletic wise, which they're not always at all,
Why did we even
why did
try
we
to push?
try?
Why did we try to get women's sports in the first place? If
We would
they're
just have
equal.
co-ed sports for
Right.
eternity. And so I project we're going to see a lot in the near future glass ceilings, as Hillary Clinton likes to say it, being broken, but it's not going to be by a biologically born woman.
No.
It's going to be by a man
Which
who paints his nails and says, "Ooh, look at me, I'm a girl."
anybody
Wait.
can smash that ceiling.
Right?
That's a guy.
I'm going to say something.
Duh.
Any guy listening who thinks it's really great to be a girl, I mean, it is. Don't get me wrong.
Don't get me wrong.
I
There's some
mean,
fun perks to being a girl, okay?
trust me. But it is not all what it's clammed up to be.
No.
Like, y'all can get ready, and like our dad, growing up, he would get ready in literally 5 minutes.
And I'm just like, what?
I'm like,
Huh?
how?
I can't even do my makeup that fast. Like, I could if I really wanted to, but it wouldn't be if like I wanted to go out for the evening. I
Not-
couldn't do it.
Like, it
It's
is
impossible.
so hard to be a girl. There's so many things you have to keep up with, things that happen every couple weeks that literally I hate,
Like, once a month, we all gotta be messed up for a little bit, okay? We all know what we're talking about.
like, it's not this
It's not
all
fun.
it's not all glammed up, but then at the same time, I would never wanna be a guy.
No.
Like, I was born God knew that I was supposed to be born as a girl, and that's what I was born as. So we're
Yeah.
kinda getting a little bit off, but, like, this is so crucial because they're erasing the history of women.
Yeah. And it also, let me just add something going back to the whole religious thing, because I know we talked about that earlier in this podcast
Yeah.
episode about the faith-based people. We're not just talking about Christians, okay, or Catholics or something. We're also talking about Muslims. Muslims do
Mhm.
not agree, according to the Quran, okay? You're always going to find those few people
Woke.
that woke
It's like
Muslims.
finding, like, knowing there's part of the Catholic Church now that's pro-abortion. You're like,
Huh?
"Huh?"
Where did your brain go? Should I pray for it to come back? Wait, I can do that. Anyway, that's kind of mean. Anyway, but it's kind of true. They were also talking about Muslims. Muslims, according to the Quran, do not agree with the LGBTQ plus lifestyle. They just don't. So
It actually
it
comes against
targets
them.
it does. It targets Muslims as well. This Equality Act targets Muslims. It targets Christians. It targets those with the religions that not widely known, but are kind of like one of those, what is it called? Those religions where you kind of like make up what you want
Oh, I don't know.
and how you feel in the moment to live that way. Yeah, it could go against those people too. Just saying. So it's anybody and
And
everybody.
so what this would do is it would force pastors to marry it would force them to marry lesbians and those people of those communities,
Yep.
and if they don't, then it's a federal crime, and it would force all these different things, private Christian schools to have to allow certain people in that go against their core beliefs,
And
and, like,
bathrooms changing.
it's super messed up.
Doctors and nurses, it goes into the medical field as well. Doctors and nurses that don't agree with certain procedures are now forced to perform certain procedures on patients that request it, regardless of what they believe in, or they risk losing their livelihood, their income. Hello? This
Like,
is targeting every type of person at
so
this point.
the Equality Act is basically, think of it opposite day. So they say it's about equality, but it's basically gaslighting inequality in this country,
Mhm.
pushing inequality at a mass scale in order to protect a very, very small group of confused people in this country.
That are already protected, technically, by the Constitution. I
Right.
don't know what, did they
Not
forget about
only
that?
not only that,
That
but
piece of paper?
I'm going to share a couple things more detailed on what you
Yeah,
said.
go for it.
That it classifies doctors who won't commit an abortion as
Mhm.
sexist, and they could use their
Oh.
crime, their oh my
Don't go
gosh,
woke on me.
what's it
Please do not
called?
go woke on
Their
me.
license.
You said
So,
crime.
and this involved in hidden in the Equality Act is the most pro-abortion
Mhm.
gr- m- thing of rules and laws that this country has seen in quite some time.
Yes.
And that it ends female-only spaces, it is pro-abortion, it
Women's
allows you to
sports,
kill babies for the preborn, like, it's this
forget
horrible,
about
horrible
it.
thing.
Bathrooms, forget about it.
So, basically, the Equality Act is the perfect picture of
For a liberal fruitcake.
inequality.
Yeah. Again, the Equality Act really should just be called the Inequality Act.
And then I could, see where they're coming from.
It would make more logical sense. But again, the left has no sense. So that's why it makes sense
So,
for something crazy like this to be happening.
is this going to pass, though? It has to go to the
We
Senate.
need 2/3 of the majority vote.
There's a good chance it's not going to pass,
So
but it also could.
you never
You
know.
never know.
That's one thing 2020 taught us, and probably taught you too, is that you literally never know what's going to happen. Even if you think you know what's going to happen,
You never
you
know.
never know. Like, okay, great example, the election. We knew something fishy was going to happen. We knew that. It
We didn't know
happened.
what it was gonna look
We didn't
like.
know the extent. We were all kind of shocked, more or less. January 6th, we thought we were going to be fine when Congress came together and voted. We were not fine because there was a lot of,
Messy
messy
things.
things that were happening that day. So,
But here's this.
you know
We
what?
like to be positive.
Yeah, let's go find the high note, shall we?
And it
End
may
on that.
it may all go to fruit in a handbasket.
That's a cute phrase.
That's the phrase, right? the saying?
I literally have no idea.
Basically, it means it could all be up in the air and it could go to I don't
I'm
wanna
sorry,
say
what was the phrase you used?
what?
Say it again?
What phrase?
The fruit basket one?
Oh, I don't know now. It just came to me. I feel like it's like what our grandparents use.
I could
I don't
not tell you.
remember.
I don't know.
Oh,
Basically, it's
hand
up
in
in the
a fruit in a
no,
hand
no, just
whatever.
say it's up in the air.
It's up in the air what could happen, but we're not to waver. We're still gonna hold the line, whether it goes
Mhm.
through or it thank you, Jesus. I declare that it does not.
Yeah.
And we get to hold the line a little bit longer.
So, regardless of what happens, stand your ground. Hold the line. It's as Americans, genuinely speaking right now, as Americans, it's in your DNA to stand up in the face of adversity and to hold the line and leave your footprints in the sands of time as a legacy, so to speak, so that other generations will be encouraged and inspired by history to continue doing the same things so that their kids and their kids will also continue.
We're not living in some special times,
No.
2020 and 2021.
This is called life.
This is called life, and
Woo,
this
welcome
is
to it.
called the past 200 and almost 45 years of America. These, for those who are watching on YouTube and Rumble, the video of us, this American flag behind me and these stripes and these stars, these people lived through hell. We're living on our own version of hell and adversity here on earth right now in this country, and
Mhm.
it's traumatic.
Yeah.
It's hard, but these people lived through it as well, and they fought, they held the line. They actually had to put their life more on the line.
This was more of a bloodier times than what we're currently going through. Despite, what the CDC says with the amount of deaths from COVID. And I'm not
But
making light of it because there are people that have passed away and that is awful.
there's a
But there's a lot, again, messy stuff that's happening.
but they had to fight and rise up
Stand tall.
and fight back
With
with the
truth.
truth that they had in this moment. So, if you're feeling discouraged, rule number 1, open up the Bible.
Rule number 2.
Look at the American flag
Look at
and use
that.
this as a remembrance for what this country has stood for so long.
Yeah.
Because we're going to be good.
We
It'll be good.
got this.
You
Okay?
guys are
You got
amazing.
this.
Please, you guys don't have any idea how much we truly, truly
Yeah.
enjoy you. You're amazing. Subscribe to our podcast. Also, leave a review on our podcast over on Apple Podcasts.
Because it helps us. We love reading them, and we've also had some what's the word I'm looking for? Haters, trolls leave some ugly reviews, and once someone leaves a review, it's there. You can't do anything
get
about
rid of
it. So it really would mean a lot if you guys just voted 5 stars or whatever it is you think. I think it's 5 stars, but whatever you think is fine. Anyway.
All right, here's a Patriot of the Week, which
yes.
is what we do. If you leave a podcast, we're going to go on here and we are going to see, look at all these 1-star. Y'all a bunch of
Lame.
haters. Okay.
Lame. It's at least 2 stars, okay? No kidding.
Okay, somebody said, all right, the smart Republican girl said, y'all are literally my spirit animals. Keep
Aw.
fighting the good fight and please do more mask story podcasts. We have plenty of
We
those.
have plenty.
We are so thankful for you.
And we love making them. So we'll make some stories and then we'll share some stories for you.
Okay, if you want to be featured as next week's Patriot of the Week here on the Unleashed, leave a review with words and then we will give you a little bit of a shout out.
Yeah.
You guys mean so much to us. Head over to our website at
thepatriotsisters.org/email. Sign up for emails because as you know, big tech kind of hates us. They also hate you too. Sorry, but it is what it is.
Oh, and a quick little update. I feel like this is like our morning announcements at church. You know how they do it?
Or school.
Okay, last little thing, okay?
What?
We've been talking about this big project we're working on.
Yes.
We finally made and was able to move forward with our distributor today.
It took a long time. Woo! But we got there.
Part 1 of the project it's coming. It's on its way. It's being created.
So do not lose hope because I know some of you guys have been asking about it. So it's there.
And then part 2 is in the works as well.
Yeah.
So we haven't forgotten. It's just
a lot.
Stressful.
All right. As always, anything else I'm forgetting?
That's it.
That is it. Okay. As always, make sure you are
rising up,
standing tall,
and fighting back with truth.
Okay. We'll see you in the next one.